Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the Core Racing Network. Tonight, we're back here at the Big Bad Talladega Superspeedway for the Hold Your Brakes Academy, presented by PinUpsForVets.com. And we're here for 65 laps of just flat to floor, white knuckle, hold your line, hold your brakes if you get in a wreck kind of action here tonight. Carl Hanworth joined in the booth by Jimmy Covert. Jimmy, this place is big, it's bad, and the big one is just right around the corner every time.
Yeah, it's a big track. You're out there for quite a while. I mean, one lap, is in the 50 seconds, around the 50-second era there. But when you're by yourself, and one thing you don't want to be tonight is by yourself. Even if you're the leader, if you're the leader and you're by yourself, you're going to get caught. Nobody can run away here, Carl. This is one of those tracks. Restrictor plates, bumping, pushing, real tight, like you said, white knuckle, side by side. And to kind of do it for 65 laps is quite an endurance event. Most of the times you can kind of get your point across or even keep your focus, with a much shorter race. Probably around, I'd say, like 35, 40 laps is like a really good area for these tracks. But 65 is going to add a little bit of spice to it. Obviously, you're going to need to pit maybe once, if at least once, maybe twice. And that comes down to anybody can, mash the pedal to the floor. Who can come into that pit and make that correct pit stop, hit it on the money, and get that great bingo for the pit stop. But you have to do it with a partner or with somebody or a couple people, because if you come out by yourself, they're going to catch you anyways. So it's a double-edged sword. You need to be able to do that and do it consistently. And we're going to see who can do it here tonight. There's close to 30 drivers out here tonight, Carl, and looking forward to seeing how they handle some white knuckle action.
Yeah, friends, and more friends is what you need for this race. It doesn't matter if it's a teammate or not. These drivers all have at least most of them, they have a teammate, and they even get a team championship right now with JMR leading the points right now, and that is the team of Timothy Presley and Jarrett Martin as they lead at the team points. But I mean, you need to find anybody that's around you and figure out who you work well with. As we've said multiple times before, sometimes you're better pushing, sometimes you're better being pushed, and sometimes it's car dependent. Some drivers you might be better off pushing, and some might be better off pushing you, and then you get to that next car that's your new friend, and all of a sudden it's vice versa. So the first 50 plus laps, you just need to kind of feel out as much as you can from everybody out there who is going to help you get to that top spot at the end. As the drivers right now out there in what I like to consider the most worthless time of the entire season, and that's qualifying here at Talladega, because Jimmy, qualifying, can't really put it in better terms. Qualifying just doesn't mean shit here.
It really doesn't. I mean, anything can happen. The slightest. I mean, the only thing it can do, Carl, typically, and not always, we've seen it usually a little safer up front. Typically, the drivers that really can know how to get around here have a little more experience and find themselves putting in a good time. But, maybe a newer driver, that's what they do. They know how to hit those lines. They just can't save tires. You don't have to save tires here at Talladega very much. And, they might not find themselves up towards the front in that pack. And, how's their racecraft? Do they know how to, kind of go in the corners and not drift up? Don't get down too low. Don't hit that apron. You do not want to do that here going in the corner. We've seen it, big wrecks up front, take out 3/4 of the field, and everybody's coming and getting fast repairs, taking their mulligan early. That's the other thing here. They do have some fast repairs. So one kind of virtual reality part of sim racing is we have the option to make them mechanics down in the pit stalls just instantaneously fix a car and put it back on track, which is kind of nice. So you don't have to sit there and wait. But if you're doing an endurance event like a 24 hours of Daytona and you wreck your car and you come down there with some damage, it might take you 15, 20 minutes to get that car back on track. And then you have to overcome that big time loss and get some luck for a good finish. But we are done qualifying, Carl. There is 29 cars on the field here. We'll go ahead and, get rid of that.
And before you do that, we're going to bring in our in-race reporter here real quick and give him some time. His time in the sunshine here is we're bringing in the sponsor of tonight's race, and that is the driver of the 57, Tom Osborne. And Tom, you guys kind of pick and choose which tracks you want to sponsor here for the season. You picked Talladega here tonight. So, what makes Talladega special for you? What is it that you like about it?
I just like the track. I like the different lanes you can run. I just like Talladega. I always have.
So it is the Dega Chief 172 here tonight. Any special that you want to talk about that?
The Chief is my dad's nickname. Everyone always called him Chief. We lost him a few years ago to cancer. So it just felt right today being his birthday. We're at Talladega, so I just wanted to call it the Chief.
Absolutely, it's definitely I like that. I like the shout out like that. That's a good meaning for it. So hopefully you do well out there, and I'm sure your dad's down there watching the race out here tonight. Hopefully you can keep it clean out there. It's not easy out here at Dega sometimes, but wish you luck in the 57. Before we let you go and get out of here for some racing, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
I'd like to thank Pinup for Vets and Core Racing Network. You guys have been awesome. I'd like to work with you guys.
Well, I appreciate that, buddy. Well, good luck out there. Hopefully you guys keep it clean, but if not, if we get some yellows, maybe we'll get a chance to talk to you during the race.
All right, man. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Good luck out there. That is the 57 of Tom Osborne, as he's going to be starting back in 16th position. Jimmy, why don't you give us a rundown when we got a nice long pace lap here at Talladega and what tonight's rundown is.
Quick down and dirty. Jake Raven will take the pole here tonight in number 37 with Matt Ulmer on the outside. Then it is Robbie Miner getting a good qualifying in with Dave Chapman on row number 2. Row number 3, Joshua King with Timothy Presley, Bryson Anderson, and Kelly Akron on row number 4. Row number 5, two-time back-to-back winner here at Hold Your Brakes, Jorge Ledesma with Don King on row number 5. Then Ryan Perrone and Tyler Reed on row number 6. Row number 7, Robert Altman with Jarrett Martin on row number 7. Row number 8 is Shane King and Tristan Miner. Tom Lanier and Rob Higgs make up row number 9. And then the rest of the field here, I'll go back here, and on row number 10 is going to be Sean McLean with Thomas Osborne. William Martin and Dylan Jacobs is back on row number 11, so welcome back to the 5. Quinn McLean and James Smith in row number 12. Row number 13, Andrew Jones and Davis Shively. Jeremy Gill starting in the back of the pack with no time in, and Jackson West and Robert White. Also, Andrew Jones and Davis Shively with no time. Like you said, Carl, not really a track where you need to have that qualifying time in, but we'll go ahead and get everything up for you fans to see out there. I want to welcome all the fans here to CRN. We are coming down the front stretch, getting ready to go green. It's going to be Jake Raven here, and we are under green, so away they go.
Yeah, Jorge Ledesma, because of the back-to-back wins, has to start from the back of the field here tonight, but I guess there's no better place to start from the back than here at Dega. You don't have to worry about it, and I always say there's 3 different types of drivers when it comes to plate track. Just drivers that like to get up, get out front, try and avoid any kind of issues throughout the race and just try and kind of run away from it. There's the guys that, regardless of where they qualify, sometimes they drop down to the bottom on the backstretch. They want to go to the back of the field. They feel like from the back of the field, as long as they have a little bit of draft, they can make some decisions if something happens up in front of them. And then there's the psychopaths that enjoy being out there right in the middle of the field in the battlefield. Don't mind going 2-3 wide throughout the entire race, and I still think they need to get checked and maybe take them right to the infield care center as soon as the race is over, whether they're involved in a wreck or not, just checking for any concussions. But some like it, some like the action. Not me. I'll take the action up here in the booth any day.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just hopped on board here with Tristan Miner and that number 22, repping the Dale Jarrett UPS machine. Currently sitting at 17, so kind of mid-pack-ish area here. The whole field here tonight's a battlefield. Nowhere is really safe. It's just really kind of keeping that car here. You can see the cars kind of looking around. You see the draft kicking in here with Tristan catching up there to the 8, and to see everybody bobbing. Carl, when the car kind of bolts out, obviously you're getting that dirty air and whatnot, and it kind of goes. You're also getting that that pull from the draft, right? The car is like really accelerating behind the car in front of you. You know, the slightest of lifts will stop that car from drifting out over a car with. You know, just kind of maintain pace. There's 65 laps these drivers got to go through. There's no rush unless you're trying to get to the front, and you can see right here, you know, a checkup here, just a little bit to not get involved. A lot of these can be reduced by just managing your throttle coming in, you know, knowing that you just need to lift a little bit, paying attention to the field. Obviously, you can only see so much. We'll go ahead and hop over here. We'll say Don King up here in P number 8. But we'll go this time. We'll go down to the cockpit so we can see exactly what he's seeing. He's poking out a little bit, looking on that left side, kind of trying to hold it down there, not too far away. You can get a side draft here from these cars, the super speedways. We talked about it before, you know, talked about it before. You see, he's holding down just a little bit farther. You just got to be careful, especially you got to know who's down below you. He's going to take a 3 wide here with a run, but you know, he can be left up there by himself. So right now he is getting left out there by himself. You can see that 70 shift to the back because he has no partner out here. And we talked about partners and pitting and all that fun stuff. So now these drivers got to be a little bit careful. They're going to go 3 wide. There's plenty of room here, car. You can go 4 wide and even 5 wide at times. I wouldn't recommend it if you're fairly new to this stuff, because especially with as much as these cars can bob and weave, as the drivers are really trying to, you know, make things move and go along. These cars are traveling over 190 miles an hour. And, you know, things happen quickly, and you're really not going to save it. You can't lock up the brakes. I mean, you can lift, you can try to save it, counter steer, but, you know, once something goes, it's literally just about locking down the brakes the best you can and trying to not get in people's way. You know, if you catch a wall, just try to stay up there. There's all kinds of things to try to do as much as possible, but the big ones that can come and go. And right now, just the 70 kind of going out to the outside. I think he's maybe just planning on falling to the back. You can see the drivers still bobbing and weaving back and forth. So you just got to be careful.
7 slid up there a little bit, almost got into the 5 there of Jacobs, but a good save by all the drivers. And really, you know, another thing you need to manage is, you know, we talk about the bump draft. You can do it in 2-car tandems. You don't want to push the pusher. You don't want to be that third one in line pushing anybody in front. But you kind of have to manage your runs as well. If you're planning on staying in line, you have to be aware of how quick. You see, like right here, Osborne catching up to the 22 in front of him, had to back out of that a little bit. And there's different ways to do that as well. Some drivers, I know Jimmy, he likes to use the brake when he gets up, or actually he likes to get off the gas when he gets up, and he gets a little bit too close to the cars in front on these runs or even on the restarts. I prefer, you know, trying to stay as much in the gas as possible and just dragging the brake a little bit. So there's, you know, 100 different ways to skin a cat here, especially when it comes to driving around in these packs here. But you see that the cars are not planted at all. They are bouncing around. They're moving around, and it's good that you got the dash lines in there to at least give you some kind of guide when you're in that second lane or even the third lane up there. Like this is your little pocket. This is your happy space right here. Give some room. There's plenty of time here. We're only a 10th of the way through this thing. A lot of racing yet to go. It looks like maybe the 76. Got to keep an eye on the 76 here. Not having a spotter, according to the Austin out there. So we'll keep an eye on Jackson as he tries to work his way through the field. Or maybe just kind of hanging out for now. And yeah, Jorge did get the EOL to start this thing, and he is currently up. Well, he's not up at all. He's actually still in 29th at the back of this pack, but well-deserved, well-earned. He's a back-to-back winner here in the series. It was Timothy Bresley taking the season opener for the Hold Your Brakes Academy for season number 4, I believe. I just gotta double-check that. I'm pretty sure it is season 4. And then it was the Charlotte and Las Vegas went to Jorge Ledesma Jr. So we'll see if we get a new winner here tonight at Dega.
Yeah, the one thing that and I like how they're kind of single file back here, but they're off the draft of the main group, so they really need this group back here in the back. You know, the second group, I guess you're gonna call it, safer group to be in. But they should be paying attention, obviously, what's happening in the corners, and you know, they should be seeing the car 3 wide there, stuff that they're, you know, looking out for us. Because especially if I'm Jorge Ledesma, I'm in last, right? So if I see smoke and that yellow flag comes out, I'm just lifting. Like, there's nobody behind me. I'm lifting. I'm slowing. And matter of fact, we spoke smoke. So here it goes. You know, just off the gas, slow. Just kind of slow it down. It doesn't matter at this point. You know, the caution's already happened. So we'll find out, you know, how happened and whatnot. But see, this group here, easy miss all day long. We do see some smoke there by one of the drivers down on the inside. So we'll go check here on our first incident, and this is why this pack here in the back went ahead and was holding back just a little bit. But we're talking about not losing that main draft, because eventually, maybe a little later in the race, if you're this far back, you just don't have a chance to make that run to the front from the back. But we'll go ahead and check this out here. What happened to William Martin looking above here, and you see the touch there by the 8.
Wide.
Yep, and the 8's going to come down, hit Altman there in the turtle machine, going to send them down here. You see just all scattered out, nowhere to go.
And that is exactly why the 52, William Martin, got a meatball, and I believe we had Quinn McLean, I believe, was the other one. The 21 was the one that was down on the apron that had a meatball as well. So 2 cars needing some repairs here, and I'm not sure if William Martin had the fast repair checked, or maybe he had to tow that thing back to pit lane because he's still racking up the time right now. But a couple cars involved in this one. We'll see if the field decides to come into the pits. It's only been 8 laps here, but as much as Jimmy says that you don't have to worry about wearing tires, you don't. You can make it all the way from start to finish on a set of tires, but you do feel it a little bit when they start getting a little bit later in the runs. They start just feeling a little bit greasy, and that dancing around that you see happens a little bit more frequently and a little bit more exaggerated later on in the run. So if you're one of these cars in the back here and you got a ton of tires left in the pits, these drivers only have 3 sets in the pits for the race, so you got to be smart with them, maybe not taking them every time, but not a bad choice just coming in here, maybe topping off on fuel. You don't want to be off cycle when it comes to fuel is really what the thing is. You don't want to be, even if it's just 1 or 2 years, you want to be kind of with the pack on the same kind of fuel strategy.
Yeah, it's obviously a group of people kind of came in, and a bunch of people came in, a few staying out. Obviously, this is going to throw, strategy around a little bit. So now, those 10 drivers that stayed out, they should be planning on possibly, when if they were to stay green, pit stops happen, coming in together, and we're still working together to stay in that group, because the rest of the field now has the option to stay out longer. And not that you'll go a lap down here, but you don't want to be caught by yourself, or that front 10 will just run by you, with no problem and put you a lap down, and then you'll be waiting for that caution to come out to, to possibly get back in the lead lap. So only 1 meatball down there, unless if somebody else had a meatball, it's already got cleared. But Martin down there, unable to get that fixed, so he's going to be sitting down there for just a little bit longer. Hopefully he won't go much farther down than a lap, depending on the amount of damage that was done. That's one thing that we can't tell up here. We know that they've added the flags down there, as you can see, the little black square there with the orange dot in it. And we explained the meatball flag, and if you don't know, we can explain it again. Right now, obviously the field is kind of jockeying up around just a little bit. I'll go ahead and show kind of how people have moved around so far. I'll bring up the gains here, and you can see that a lot of your front runners have either come in or slid back and then were involved there in that incident, and some of the people that were in the back. Osborne worked his way up into P number 8, so doing a pretty decent job so far as the biggest mover. But we'll see these numbers jockey around all over the place, and I'll bring them up from time to time so you can see who your favorite driver is at, who's got the fastest lap. That is the purple number down there, and so right now McLean claiming the fastest lap of the race at the moment, so probably just a really good drafted run there. What else we got? But yeah, looking to go back green here. We're still single file this time. By the lights should go off on the pace car. We'll go down to Chapman, look ahead, lights should go off here. And they do. So the field will be doubling back up, and we'll be going green next time by.
It's going to be in the hands and control up here by your leader right now, which is David Chapman Jr. up from 4th to the front of the field here. Jake Raven, Timothy Presley, Kelly Akron, Robbie Minor for your top 5, Tyler Reed, Bryson Anderson, Tom Osborne, Jarrett Martin, Tristan Minor for your top 10. Not sure what happened with the 69 there of Robert White. Did see in the chat and in the iRacing that he's threw his water bottle out the window and he's flipping somebody the bird. So I don't know if it's a rough start here for the 69 there or not, but either way, it's gonna be a restart here early on and. Restarts. You got to be smart about these, especially if you're the leader. And we've said it before. This is a good time to not get a good restart. I'm not saying miss a shift or spin the tires. I'm saying don't get a good jump. And if you do, maybe drag that brake a little bit. If not, you're gonna get freight train. Doesn't matter if it's on lap 6 or lap 60. If the drivers are coming up on you that fast, they're probably gonna go for a move to work their way around there. But either way, we'll see how this thing turns out. I want to thank all the fans out there in Sierra Nation for tuning in. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that Sierra has to offer. Shout out to the series sponsor there. Apparently hanging out at BWI, watching us here tonight. That being the driver of the 217. Am I getting it right again? Am I screwing it up again?
I'm not gonna.
Either way, Joe Thomas.
I'm gonna let you hang yourself with that one, Carl.
I'm gonna let Joe correct me again.
You're wrong.
It's just 217, 218, 2 something. Yeah, exactly. He ain't out here. If he'd be out here more often, I'd know what number he was. Either way, we're back to racing here as the 88 back on that loud pedal, and he's going to take us back into turn number 1, and the field kind of really spread out here on this restart. And we'll see them all gather back up here again. And that's what you get. That's what you get, Joe. You earned that. But either way, thank you to Joe Thomas and PitUpsForVets.com for the sponsorship here on the series. We joke. We have fun. We'll see what he does tomorrow night, as it looks like he's going to be back out in action for the Core Xfinity Series, as they're going to be heading to Talladega as well. They are. Yeah, so it's going to be back-to-back nights here at Talladega. Tomorrow night, the playoff opener for the Core Xfinity Series presented by Kim's Cups and more. And it's going to be right back here at Talladega for 55 laps. So quite a bit on the line tomorrow night as well. So, Jimmy, let's go ahead and get ourselves a suite, kind of hang out here, get some room service. We don't have to go anywhere until tomorrow.
I mean, yeah, I don't have to book a flight. Save me from going from town to town, I guess. But the 19 Kelly Akron to the high side. I'm going to slide back here just a little bit, maybe a little more comfortable. Not quite up in the fray there. Is going to slide back into P number 14 on the outside. And as the front is obviously side by side. And some people see a couple wiggles and are like, yep, not for me right now, and they back out. And maybe that's what Kelly's doing, going to hang out there to the outside on that outside line. Carl prefers the outside line here when it comes to Talladega and whatnot. I don't mind the outside. I really very much at all. I tend to cater to the inside because of pitting responsibilities that you have to do with the car, and especially if you're in a race where it is green, you can just kind of hang down there, draft, use the line for a guide. You don't have to worry about trying to get down, slide down there. It's like if I was a 53 and I needed to move down now, not gonna happen. So you gotta slow the field up behind you, and either hopefully you get a spot or create a gap down side. Maybe ask the number 7 to kind of come down. Maybe politely, not doesn't need to happen. Been in a race where like, hey, I need to get down. That's nice. You're stuck on the outside. Figure it out. Took me out going into the field. So, we give each other shit for that all the time. Excuse the language, but that's the way it works. Is somebody made a mistake, took me out of the race because I wouldn't let them down.
Well, I think it comes down to body type, Jimmy. I think the body type is where you decide where you like to run. I'm not talking about difference between Chevy and Ford and Toyota. I'm talking about I need to be skinny to get through there. I'm talking about the fact that you're a skinnier guy compared to me, and so you don't mind getting trapped down there on the bottom. I'm a bigger guy. I like to be on the outside. I need some room to move around to maneuver. I like feeling trapped down there. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe it has to do with the body type and what the preference is. But that was I think Higgs here need to be plenty skinny to shoot the gap right there and slide up through. But he did it. He survived, and so has everybody else, and we'll keep this thing green. Speaking of green, Robert Altman, he just had on there for a second. It seems like of anybody that just finds the bad luck week in and week out, it is the 94 Robert Altman. There's so many times we've seen that 94 up front doing well, and then all of a sudden he's caught in something else. So hoping that maybe some good fortune starts to turn the way here of the 94. But taking a look at the point standings coming in, we mentioned Timothy Presley got the season opening win, and even though Jorge Ledesma won the past two races, he is in second to Timothy Presley by 30 points. Andrew Jones in third, 91 points back. Shane King in fourth, 95 back. And then Drafty Beef in fifth. And then in the Rookie of the Year standings, we got Jake Raven with a good sizable margin over David Shively. And then Jeremiah Grau, Tyler Reed, and Jackson West for your top five. And as mentioned before, if I can quickly get it out before we have any kind of issues, we got JMR leading the team standings, Minor Motorsports, Subpar Motorsports, Royalty Motorsports, and then CNL Racing for your top five.
Apron,
no touch.
Oh, I'm going to have a heart attack up here tonight, Carl. These are some close calls. And the apron, you can see the cars just getting upset, and the driver's able to catch it is kind of good, but just not a spot. I'm sure they're feeling a comfortable brown pants moment for sure. But the 14 has made their way to the front, up 17 spots, Carl, so it can be done. You're seeing it here done now as the 14 leads on the outside, has a good little follow. Kelly Akron back in the mix here. Went from the high side to the low side, found that open side down in the fourth car back. But a lot of bobbing and weaving. There's a shot to the back to Kelly Akron. Off the wall, down. Oh, good save so far, but there's a lot of bumping and banging. The elbows are flying.
Yeah, do we need to remind them they still got about 15 laps to go in this race?
I guess not the time.
We don't need to go yet. I mean, this field's starting to spread out, but not because we got cars that are faster than the others. I think they're just scared of what's going on right now, and I don't blame them.
I would be scared. I mean, I'm just like, let them figure it out, and figuring the caution is going to happen, but they've been able to hold it straight so far. Now, if the cars are, beat up a little bit, that's another thing. And now can they draft? Can they be the car out front? You get some damage on that car, you might not be able to go as fast as everybody else. So you're going to end up sliding back inadvertently, and you're going to need to get that fixed. But, sometimes when you get a little bit of damage on the car, you're a perfect car to push somebody in front of you. You just kind of use them to push the air out of the way and make your way through. But this group here, I'm on top of Joshua King at the moment. He's down at the bottom side, and single file. It looks like they're going to catch back up to that front group before they pull away and get out of that window. But back here with Ryan Perone, might not be the case. Might be just at the edge of losing the draft here, Carl, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, he's at 1.1, which is at the very, very edge of the draft window.
Yeah, you kind of need to be right at 1. Sometimes 1.1 you can get a little sniff, and that's really all you need. But you need to be exactly in line to be able to reel them back in. So it's on the edge for sure. You don't want to really lose it, but I mean, it's early in the race. still, and certainly another caution would bring everybody right back in. And he's seen in that first little run, he's seen 3, 4, 5 cars back there well off the back of the pack, and they had plenty of time to avoid and take avoiding action. So maybe this is the plan, just kind of hang back a little bit. As is that a pit, or is
pit
that
stops? Pit
okay?
stops.
Yeah, it is pit stops, and this is definitely off cycle from a lot of others. And we've got 2 black flags here as well. Points leader Timothy Presley, black flag, entering the pits, and looks like Tyler Reed also getting a black flag here entering. This is really what can set you apart from everybody else. That is a 40-second hold that puts you plenty far behind the field.
Yeah, and a few drivers, that were in. These are a lot of the drivers that were not in, Carl. We're at lap 20, so about a 20-lap run. And so the next car should be coming in around lap 29, which would be about another 9 laps. But Anderson and a few others are coming in the pits now. They're the rest of the drivers that... who was that? Was that Osborne? Who was that missed? Yeah, that was Osborne missing the pits. So, but yep, and getting the black flag for unsafe pit entry. There's another mistake here made by the 57 here early, coming in on lap number 21.
Yeah, this is not what you want to be doing here. If you can get this done and get back out there and stay on the lead lap with that 40-second hold, maybe you have a chance if there's a quick caution, or if somebody loses it on entry, which we've been seeing plenty of drivers having some issues here now coming in. No wrecks, no cautions as of yet, but this is what I was talking about, Jimmy. I mean, the field pit on lap number 9 under that caution, or at least the front 17 cars did. It doesn't look like it doesn't look like Thomas Osborne actually came into the pits. He came into the pits, but it doesn't look like he took a pit stop for whatever reason. Either way, he's going to have to serve a 40-second time penalty one way or another.
Ooh, I've got a black flag too.
Those 9 laps right there is a big difference, and it's allowing these 17 cars right now to continue out there running. If a caution were to come out, then they get the free pit stop. But right now, I think they'd like this thing to go nice and green for quite some time. It looks like 20 laps roughly is going to be where the pit window is, and you're going to be looking at least 2 more pit stops for everybody.
There's a crash on the track, or just a major stop here. I'll go back and take a what's going on.
They're coming into pit road, but it was off the track and off the racing line, so not going to be a caution. Looks like the 22 was one of them. Oh, right there, the 57. That is Thomas Osborne trying to limp it back into the pits, I believe.
I think he ran out of fuel. The Tristan coming down. Is he going to push?
Into the pits.
No. Watch this.
Yes.
Watch
Yes.
this. Now, is this a teammate or what?
That's friendly bump traffic right there. That is friendly bump traffic.
That is, I've never seen this, Carl.
And they both got a black flag.
They both got black flags, but an assist from a fellow driver to get their car into the pits, Carl. That's a first. It was the first here at CRN where the drivers help each other out to kind of get down in the pits here while under green. So it's going to cost them lots of time, but better to kind of come down and maybe be able to sacrifice a little bit. So there it is. What a job by the 22. Big shout out for Tristan for helping out Osborne getting down in the pit lanes, but it's going to cost them some time down there, as I'm sure he was like, well, I already got a black flag, might as well go down there and serve it anyways and help out somebody on the track. So just a huge shout out for that's just being a good human, Carl.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Samantha feels you on that one or not. I mean, I don't know if that's a proud moment or a what the hell are you doing kind of moment. But either way, that's Tristan Minor right there. You got Robbie Minor in 23rd right now. That's your minor update. As we're taking a look, and Looks like a couple more laps here, and we'll keep an eye on that 76 at Jackson West and see if he can survive lap 26. According to his spotter, it looks like that's when his time is going to run out.
We're on 26. There we go.
So we'll see. This is the lap right here, so we'll keep an eye on.
And we'll put them on the screen. I mean, there's no other better way than really putting them on the microscope. I mean, we'll just go ahead and even do one better here, Carl. Where the heck is it? If I find a camera, I got too many. Here we go. Put them really underneath the microscope. Put them in that zoom mode there.
Getting around there in the Milwaukee Toyota here tonight, and looks like unless something happens in the travel can be a little bouncy at the bottom, but it looks like he is going to survive lap number 26. So maybe I don't know. Maybe he's doing better
He's
without
a new
a
spotter now. Can't even call his own wrecks.
I'm actually, you're seeing him as the UPS. I'm seeing him as the Milwaukee car, so I'm not sure which one.
No, I got him as Milwaukee.
Here.
Jackson West, 76.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Never mind. I'm behind on the broadcast. That'd be why. There we go. It is Tristan Planner in UPS. There we go. All right. Either way. Yeah, exactly. Well, either way, Dylan Jacobs, welcome back, and he is welcoming himself back with a nice little run here. Plenty of laps in front. He's got Rob Higgs right behind him. These drivers, again, in the top 17, all need to come in here within the next couple laps. We'll get an idea. Looks like Don King going to come in from 17th there by himself. That is a lonely pit stop for the number 70. But you see the track map, it's kind of funny, taking a look at it with the big gaps there in between some of these cars. But you see that one on the backstretch, that is Timothy Presley, as he was one of the cars caught with the unsafe entry or the speeding on entry, whatever it was. And he's back there with the 47 getting pushed as well. They are back in 26th and 27th, and it's not where the points leader wants to be here tonight. But you come into Talladega. If you come into Talladega as a points leader, you kind of feel good because there's only one way you can go, and that's down most likely. But it's better than chasing somebody coming into Talladega, knowing that okay, I need to get a good finish here. At least if you come in as a points leader, you got some wiggle room.
A little bit of wiggle room. These drivers are now on lap 29 of 65, so they're not going to quite be able to get they can't. They're only going about 21 laps. We've seen people run out of fuel, Carl, so it does matter being out front and trying to get that going there. You can see obviously the lap cars kind of falling in play, trying to catch some of that draft so they don't get any further behind. You have the Martins are 1 lap down, King, Presley, Reed, and then Tristan Miner's 2 laps down, and we got pit stops.
Part of them, quite a bit of them actually, as we got a ton of cars coming down into pit row. We'll keep an eye on those black flags, if any, and looks like this was well choreographed on this one. No black flags. A little close to contact a couple times there. Some cars in the wrong pit boxes. Some
69, 69
that looked a hell of a
overshot.
lot better coming into the pits, not so much into the pit boxes.
West missed his pit stop.
It looks like Higgs may be beating the 5 out here. Close battle down pit road. Looks like Jacobs is gonna hold back here a little bit as, of course, Higgs starts to blank out when we're on him. But this is going to complete the pit cycle, and looks like Matt Ulmer is going to be in the lead. We got a few cars, 4 cars yet that need to come in. They're going to be coming in this time, coming in pretty hot as well. And Matt Ulmer not going to get it woed up in time. That is another black flag. This time for the 23 of Matt Ulmer, the other 3 of Joshua King, Tom Lanier, and Shane King getting it woed up in time, but they're going to wave bye to the 23 as they pull out.
Yeah, we're going to keep an eye here on, looks like Jake Raven is going to end up taking over the lead here as they come out of turn number 4. things are shaking up here, Carl, and that's what green pit stops do. And again, I can't emphasize the importance of a great pit stop, and especially a great pit stop with partners or somebody else to run out there on the track. You can see this field going by here. I'll go ahead and stick up the pit lap again so you can see when they were last in. Pretty much everybody, these ones up front were in on lap 20, 21, and then back to 30. So some different strategies. Obviously, we know that these drivers are going to need to come in around lap 40, which means they will need to make another pit stop before they come in. And the drivers that were in on lap 30 can go to 50, and they do not. So who was smart about coming in? When you start thinking about it, so those drivers right now, you're looking at Lanier, King, Higgs, all, and we're in on lap 30 or so. They need to make one more pit stop, but if they stay green the rest of the way, Carl, they should be able to make it to the end.
Yeah, I mean, even the drivers that pit on lap number 29, the lap right before them. So the ones that pit on lap 9 under that caution are in the catbird seat right now. If this thing stays green the entire way, I don't think there's any way that these drivers that are up front right now that pit on lap number 20, even lap number 21, that they can make it to the end without doing some major savings. So I would think if you're Dylan Jacobs back here, you're Tom Lanier, even Rob Higgs right here, you're pushing, and you are making them burn fuel. You're making them not be able to save at all. You want them to run out of fuel. You want them to have to do this on 2 more pit stops, knowing that you only need to do 1 more. So I like the place they're in right now. Of course, a caution comes out. Everybody's back on the same strategy anyway. But we're going to hope that doesn't happen. We're going to hope that this thing stays green all the way to lap 65. But now that we've gone through our first pit cycle for everyone in the field, I think it's about time we step away for a second, give everyone out there in Sierra Nation a little love to hear it.
I'd love to hear it. Never fails. Sometimes when you go to love to hear it, something happens on track. So we'll go ahead and review that real quick. Carl has stepped out for just a second. But it looks like Matt Ulmer involved in this one here. We'll kind of go over, see what happened. A review here to 23 comes down. And then Kelly Akron getting into the 23 as he came down, spinning each other out. You can see them spinning around here. It's kind of looks like Kelly Akron made it by okay for the most part. Maybe some minor damage. 23 sitting there in the track, but people checking up. You can see the 99 coming down, just missing the 23. Higgs goes by. The 5 just clips the 23.
Little netcode clip, but then
there's another one.
52. I was kind of wondering because I'm catching this as I'm
look at
going
this.
back in here, and I thought we were going to have a caution here at Dega with no damage, but then I look and I seen 3 meatballs. One right here to Shane McLean. Looks like William Martin got another meatball, so that could very well be the end of the night for him. And then the 23, I believe, was the third one, obviously involved right there. heavy impact, as he did what he could, and he did what the league is named as, so hold your brakes. And that is one thing that he did on that caution, and it looked like he may have gotten out of that thing with no damage. And even now Kelly Akron maybe a little roughed up around the front end, a little scraped up, but looks pretty clean on the front of that 19. But unfortunately some cars coming there at the end, and I wonder if we take a look at that again from Sean McLean's view, if there was anything that he could have done and made a late move, or if that was kind of like a surprise, here's a car right near your windshield. But either way, all that pit strategy that we talked about, all the different ways that could play out here tonight, well, that's all out the window. Everybody back into the pits. Everybody's gonna be back on the same strategy. Everybody's still gonna have to make one more pit stop though, so this thing is far from over. We still we're only just past halfway, and you see the race off of pit road here, and trying to see who was the lucky dog on that one. Looks like Sean McLean shuffling back up towards the front was involved in this one, but not sure who the lucky dog was. But either way, we'll get this thing back rolling here again. Looks like Tom Lanier decided to stay out, and again he's still kind of on the same strategy as everybody else in the fact that he's only going to pit one more time, but he's got 5 less laps of fuel compared to everybody else. So kind of a head scratcher here for Lanier, because if this thing goes green, he's going to have to come in 5 laps before everybody else, and then he'll be all by his lonesome.
Well, he has a few other drivers back there that came in on lap 30. Obviously, you got Jones, Ulmer, Reed, those a few drivers back there. If they don't get the wave around to the back of the field, but Lanier's just in a tight spot here, and anything can happen. Another caution can come out here if something comes out. Right around the 45, at least 45. If something comes out at lap 45. Then everybody's going to come in and be able to make it. They should be able to make it the rest of the way. Yeah, it's just going to be a tight one. If I'm Lanier, I'm in a 99. As soon as we get back under green, I'm going to try to fall behind and maybe start drafting do some major drafting here to kind of extend as long as possible, and hopefully catch a caution or something, and so I can get back on that same pit strategy of everybody else. 5 laps is quite a ways here, over 10 miles, obviously. It's, what is it? It's 2.5 times, 2.5 times 5. I mean, that's at least, it's 50, was it 15? 15? Over 15 miles, something like that. Is it public math? No, it's not.
You know what? You don't want to save me for Joe Thomas. No. I ain't saving anything for you.
Well, hey, I got tools. Hold on. We got modern technology here, folks. 2.66 times 5. It's 13.3 miles, so not quite 15 miles.
I'm gonna let you math it out. I'm gonna
let you get with the calculator.
Well, Tom Lanier did stay out here, so he is going to be your control car here on the restart. Jake Raven is the first car up there that came into the pits, and he is the 37. It looks like these cars trying to get through the lap cars, the ones that are going back towards the back of the pack. So it's going to look like this. It's going to be Tom Lanier, Jake Raven, Joshua King, Bryson Anderson, and Shane King for your top 5. Robbie Minor, Robert Altman, David Chapman Jr., Rob Higgs Jr., and Jorge Ledesma Jr. 3 juniors in a row, and then Ryan Perone Sr. in 11th. But it's still plenty of cars on the lead lap here. 22 cars on the lead lap, as Timothy Presley was the one that was the big benefactor in this. Remember, he was caught with his hand in the cookie jar coming into pit lane, got that black flag. He got saved big time, as he is your lucky dog, starting back there in 22nd, but most importantly, back on the lead lap. As we're going to get this thing back going here right now, we have got 30 laps to go. It's going to be less than that once we get the green flag here. We'll see what the field has in store. It's still, in my opinion, nowhere close to go time, but these drivers have kind of been going since the start of this thing.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't been. I don't think anybody's really been saving too much fuel, to be honest, Carl. I think that's why you got the 2021 laps in there. Obviously, with the caution kind of thrown out there, and mixed everybody up. A lot more drivers now, pretty much on the same strategy, with the exception of you have Tom Lanier out there, maybe just wanting to get out there and get some laps led, some bonus points or whatever, and hopefully something falls their way in order to, be able to come in with everybody else. But being out in the lead, I'm sure somebody will gratefully take that away from them out there. But it's gonna get things started here as they head down. We're on board with David Chapman and the 88 here, back here in P number 7, just so we can kind of see what it's like to start back a little bit farther in the field from the driver's seat. Doing a pretty good job up here in the front few rows. And we'll go ahead and hop back. Let's see, we've been on board here with Ryan Perrone, senior here in a little while. So we'll be back here behind number 14 of Higgs on the outside. So it's hard to see. You can see all he sees is pretty much the bumper. You can see the car off to your left. If you have a third, if you have triple monitors and you look to the left, you can see the back end of that number 44. It's in that kind of blind spot, the A pillar on that front left corner. So it does pay big dividends to have them triples for real. I can promise you that. Big believer in them. I don't know what I would do without them. Even VR, you gotta at least turn your head. But definitely enjoy the immersion of triple monitors. A little bit of 3 wide action maybe going on here. As a 94's high. Prone is not looking to maybe squeeze it down in there, but beneath that turtle machine at the moment, it's gonna just kind of maybe feel that gap has become as wide as possible and not allow any of the drivers behind them to go by. But 2 wide, 2 by 2 by 2 for quite a few rows back here, Carl.
Yes, we got Joshua King back out.
No. Check up. There's another 144. Back here. No, here we go.
Oh, there it is. That is the big one here at Talladega. As we got quite a few involved. Not sure if the one got involved there late or not.
Dude.
But that was quite a few cars involved. We'll take
Jeremy Gill smoking
out front with the 94 getting all kinds of out of shape, but he did save if that might have been enough to back it up.
Yeah, Jeremy Gill smoking. I think Shively, I think, is smoking as he's missing a hood. Yeah, a little bit of a mess back here. I see Tyler Reed, Tristan Miner, Thomas Osborne at least involved. But I believe there might have been a few others. I'm just trying to make sure I grab those. We'll go ahead and see what happened with... you can see up there early. Does look like Jeremy Gill gets pushed off the track. Can't quite save it. Comes up into Shively. Ooh, neck code off of Tristan Miner. That was nasty. Should not even been spun. But ends up coming down into the one of Timothy Presley. Wow. Look at the... I hate to show this, but for the Miner, for Samantha out there, but go back here and click on Tristan here, and just... The net code, Carl, was ridiculous. Here, the 88 here, he is just kind of trying to get out of the way. And we're following him here, and as the 4 comes up... Watch this. So much net code, that's ridiculous.
Are we talking on the 22 here? Because I'm
yeah. Well, I'm saying the 88 because he's running the paint scheme. It's the 22 Tristan Miner. Yeah,
that was horrible.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, well, here's what I'll say. Remember, he was the nice guy early on, trying to give the 57 a push into pit lane.
Yeah.
I know one of Barry's favorite sayings out there is "nice guys finish last."
Really? He's working his way backwards.
It's going to be a situation right there for the 22, and I again, probably also something that Samantha doesn't want to hear, but Tristan working his way backwards, as you mentioned. Looks like William Martin is going to end up finishing last here tonight. He had a couple meatballs, so 52 is going to end up retiring here early. Thomas Osborne, this is not the sponsored race that he was envisioning for sure, as he's stuck in the pits and getting some repairs done. But out front, as I was about to start mentioning before we had the caution here, it is Joshua King, your defending champion from season 3, and trying to take a look back here at Las Vegas. I believe last week Las Vegas was his first race of the season, and he did not lead any laps. So these are his first led laps here of the season for the defending champ, and we'll see if Joshua King can make a little bit better finish than he did out of Vegas. Only a 21st out there in Las Vegas. So, and that was after starting in second. So it looked like he was going to come back and really make a statement, but didn't finish out too well for him. We'll see if he has a better finish here tonight. He is your leader: Shane King, Jake Raven, Tom Lanier, Bryson Anderson for your top 5. Then Robert Altman with a heck of a save on that 94. Robbie Minor, Samantha, still got one up there in the top 10. Dylan Jacobs, Ryan Perone Sr., and Don King for your top 10, as should be getting the one to go this time by.
Yeah, 1 to go, 25 lap, or we'll be down to 24 laps to go when we cross the line, but still have a good chance for 23 drivers to win this thing. If another caution comes out, they get lucky, miss it. You can see Ulmer or Reed get back up there on a lead lap as well. I think Martin's in there with the meatball, and just a minor, only 1 lap down. So, there's always that possibility. Oh, there's a few people 1 lap down now. Martin's going to go 1 lap down. So you got 4 drivers 1 lap down. That is basically a battle by itself. These 4 drivers back here should be fighting for position. We've seen Matt Ulmer up there. Tyler Reed was up there, I think, at one point there for a little bit. And Tristan Minor, obviously, being the nice guy, trying to get things done and helping people out on the track, ends up getting involved in some nasty netcode. And hopefully, that will turn around. Maybe he can get that position over those lap cars, and a caution will come out for somebody. As we come down to the late stages of the race here, we know what happens here a lot, especially when it comes down to the final laps. People start racing just a little bit harder, trying to get themselves in a position to win. But Carl, we still don't have enough fuel for the rest of the way.
No, exactly, and that's what I was kind of just looking at as well. It's going to be pretty interesting to see how this is going to play out, and I'm kind of surprised that we didn't have some more drivers come down in the pits. I know it would be a stretch to get it that far, but I mean, you never know. If you tuck in behind somebody, you just focus on drafting the entire time. You don't focus on burning any kind of fuel. Maybe there's an outside shot of getting home. And certainly a couple of drivers in the back of the field here, like Rob Higgs, Quinn McLean, Sean McLean, and Davis Shively. Some of them involved in that wreck, but they did come into the pits here and top off. So we'll see if maybe they kind of snuck it.
They got the save. It could be the winners here if it stays green the whole time and they save. If the drivers up front battle it out here, Carl. It's a chance that some of these drivers might be willing to take here, as long as they're easy on the throttle control and draft a little bit, save that fuel. It's a stretch, but maybe it can be done. We're about to find out. We're gonna go back to green here. We're gonna ride on board with Quinn McLean in the 21, starting back here in 17th, Carl.
And the long waits as the pace car comes in. You have to go all the way through the trial before you get to that restart zone, as we're back to it now and back to racing here at Talladega. The laps are ticking down here, but there's still plenty of time to just kind of settle in there. 76, you see him off there to the left as Jackson West has made it well past lap 26 at this point, and doing pretty well without a spotter out there tonight. So shout out to Jackson for doing that well, and we'll see who's got the top car here at the end of the race, and see if we kind of go back to back here with the correct predictions of being first at the white flag is not the best spot to be.
We keep saying that over and over. You're like a sitting duck. Well, we've seen people, win from that position. It's just really kind of who you have behind you and what kind of moves that people are willing to make on that lead car to get across here. And Talladega coming out of turn 4 is such a long run. As you can see, they just crossed the start-finish line. So it is a challenge to kind of stay in that spot. Jeremy Gill. Did he go to pits? Yeah, he entered the pits.
He did. Yeah, he has a black flag.
Oh, boy.
So he had to come into the pits with that number 4. Well, there you go, Austin. He may be there at least, just to have a little something in his ear. Sometimes you need somebody talking to you, just get some background noise. And so consider yourself the background noise for when you're out there for Jackson. As we'll see, we'll see how he does here at the end of this race.
Maybe Austin needs to whisper some more sweet nothings in his ear or something. Get that 76 up there up front, and of all races to kind of have a spotter, this one is actually, it's even challenging for a spotter, obviously, like to try to make that judgment call. You can see here as we ride on board with the number 21 for a few laps to just like what they're going through and what kind of decisions. You've seen like some big runs. You can hear the lifting of the gas, the RPMs kind of going up and down just a little bit, just to kind of sit in spot. Timothy Presley making a move down to the bottom, finding that little hole, trying to leave the drivers on the outside, maybe defend for themselves. But you're going to watch this huge run from the 21 here down the front stretch, Carl, and you can just see how much the draft takes into play as they cross that start-finish line. And he obviously lifting there because, Timothy Presley moving up to the high side, but had one heck of a run, coming down that long stretch. And it's right towards the end of the straights is when you get obviously the most momentum, and you just like, you feel like you're flying, like you just kicked in some nitrous boosters.
Well, it's still some time left in this race for sure, but still right now, in my opinion, is time to be doing some reconnaissance. It looks like the reconnaissance for the 14 is just the middle lane. I don't care what I got to do, who I got to pass. I'm just going right through the middle. They're going to move. I'll make my way through one way or another. Rob Higgs now back up into 13th position, now up into 12th, making that middle line work, but there's still time right now that you need to figure out who your friends are, and the one gets sideways to 53.
Wow.
Robbie Minor gets sent to the outside wall, but unfortunately I think kept it straight enough that I don't believe we got a caution out of that. Yes, we did. Yeah, did see the yellow lights go on there. So we are, I thought it, maybe not. Maybe I'm colorblind. Nope. I can't see through this fog is the problem. Just throwing that out there. So yeah, no, we are unfortunately going to stay green as Robbie Minor gets shifted all the way back here to 19th. So Samantha, I'm sorry. I'll say I'm sorry on behalf of everybody else out there. We'll try and take a look back at some point maybe and see what happened there. I know the one certainly got turned up into the 53, but I'm not sure exactly what happened. There's of course nothing showing up on SDK.
No, nothing.
But Joshua King is still your leader. Jake Raven, Tom Lanier, Shane King, and Dylan Jacobs for your top 5. Bryson Anderson, Robert Altman, Don King, Jorge Ledesma Jr., and Rob Higgs now at your top 10.
Yeah, and Jorge taking their time here tonight and making their way through the field. Just missed that last incident there that happened with Timothy Presley, and now looking to maybe join some drivers at the outside. And, no, maybe it wasn't Timothy Presley, as he's right on the screen still, right behind Rob Higgs. So I guess he was able to collect it and get back up there. So yeah, just kind of a battle here. 18 laps to go, and these drivers are going to run each and every lap as hard as they can, Carl.
You see a couple lines starting to form now, and that top line maybe getting some ideas of when you need to push, how hard you need to push to get up to the front, how many do you need in line to get up through there, as well as Dylan Jacobs slides up to lead that outside line. And you see both lines still kind of dancing around here a little bit. Another pit stop should be looming here pretty soon, as well as most of these drivers up here pit on lap number 35. So you figure in another, maybe 5 laps or so, we'll start to see them shuffling their way down to get back into a single file to get down into pit lane. We got a couple up here though, like Rob Higgs pit on lap number 40. So, he can go a little bit further, but does he want to is the thing. I mean, I think unless that 14 can get all the way to the end without making a pit stop, he's got to kind of come in with everybody else.
Yeah, you don't want to be by yourself. He said it earlier. obviously every driver for themselves when it comes to the end, but you need a friend or two to come down the pits with and to hit their marks just as well as you can, or you're hitting your marks just as well as they can, whatever it may be. So 94 kind of ducking out there, going 3 wide, going to go to the high side. Plenty of room here at Talladega. A little bit wider than Daytona, or at least it feels a little wider, Carl.
Yeah, it is. It is definitely wider than Daytona, because Daytona feels really, really tight, even with 3 wide. Here at Talladega, it feels like you can fit the same amount of car, or you can fit 4 cars in the same width of the track here, and still have a little bit of breathing room. So definitely wider here at Talladega. But I'm really interested to see that 44. Remember, Jorge had to start from the back of the field here tonight, and if there's any track that you want to, it's kind of here at Talladega anyway. But now towards the end of the race, Ledesma up there inside the top 10, looking to go back to back to back, and he's got the points leader right in front of him with Timothy Presley, and it's kind of crazy to think that Jorge could win 3 out of the first 4 races and still be looking up at that number 1 if Presley finishes up here as well.
Yeah, I mean, they're, obviously quickly establishing themselves as the forefront runners here for the league in these first few races. Not necessarily in a dominating fashion, just kind of just consistency, Carl. Obviously, Jorge is able to land 2 wins, but just getting a top 5 here tonight, is a great night. Doesn't want to, I don't think they drop races here, but some leagues they'll drop a race, and a lot of times a Talladega race can end up being your drop race because of the big one can happen. And I don't think, we're done here. Obviously, we'd like to see the drivers make it all the way to the end here, green, to keep things going. But you can see them dancing around, thinking about how they need to push. Obviously, Timothy Presley right there behind Higgs. That's right on the back bumper of the 5. And the 5 needs to, if he wants to get to the lead, he's got to get down, obviously, a little bit closer to that inside car, get that side draft. He's about in the right sweet spot now. Obviously, come off the corner, drifts out just a little bit, and then they're going to get that run. But is it enough of a run? They only have 4 cars on the outside. Got a bunch more, got a few more down on the inside. Got 8, and it's just all about trying to get out the front. Can those 4 cars run the same speed as 8? And looking up ahead, they do have a lap car, so let's just switch to the nose cam. You can see them up on the high side, and I'm not quite sure that is. I think that's Kelly Akron, if I'm not mistaken. As they get ready to go by here. No, it's not Kelly. Yes, it is. So Kelly Akron able to stay out of the way as they make the pass down the backstretch. Yeah, the front group just kind of checking out. We do have another group there led by, I believe, the 69 of Robert White, as they're battling it out back here for 13th place. And they're doing the same thing, basically, they're doing. I think they have a couple lap cars in here as well. So just, obviously, I think the incident kind of held things up just a little bit, separated the field. But with fuel on the horizon, who can make it? Is there a partner out there? Is there a duo at least? Which would make things a lot more difficult for, the field to kind of go in and come out and keep that spot.
Well, Tom Lanier in the pit. I do see he has a black flag, though, as well. Not sure if he got it entering or exiting for the 99. But you mentioned, Timothy Presley and Jorge Ledesma not dominating the races, and you could say that individually they're not dominating. It's not, going out there and just, blowing the field away, winning by 10, 11 seconds. But they're dominating with consistency right now. The only 2 drivers to have 3 top 10s in the first 3 races, as Presley has gone first, 6th, and 2nd. And that's enough to get him a 30-point lead over Ledesma, who went 9th, 1st, and 1st. So it's kind of amazing that, 9th place, it's still a top 10, but it's enough to put him 30 points behind in the series. And it's obviously bonus points and a lot of other things involved in that. But either way, both drivers up here in the top 10 here at the end. Presley in 5th, but maybe not for long, as we've got an incident on the backstretch here. Going to bring out another yellow, and
it does field strategy.
Involved a couple of them. It looks like Timothy Presley, Shane King going to walk out of this with a black flag. It might be because of incidents. So one again will need to serve another penalty here tonight.
Boogaboo. Tough break there is involved, but we'll try to go back here. Let's see. I want to say. Go here. I'm gonna go here and stop. I think we need to go down to Higgs, and we'll go a little closer too. Chopper's flying high tonight. I'll move over to the no. I'm trying to get some decent camera angles here for everybody. Need to go on Higgs here. There we go. Oh, we'll slow it up. We've seen Higgs kind of blinking just a little bit, but maybe a push of the pusher there. 5 tapping the 1, but no, the 14, that was okay. The 14 kind of coming down, 37 going up, 60 getting down on the apron. Yep, and then coming up off the apron into the 1, the 60 is going to get into the 14. So it was this, I'd say on the 60 for touching the apron, Carl, and kind of upsetting the car there. You see Higgs going around right in front. Oh, Jorge just missed that one. It just missed Akron. People kind of sliding by, so pretty clean incident for the most part. 60 was up in the wall a little bit. And the 1 tagged them as well, so maybe a few incident points for a few drivers. But Carl, it's going to get rid of the fuel strategy thing that we were talking about. So if anybody's short on fuel, they'll be coming in now. Anybody that's good to go, they'll stay out and they'll be on that lead lap. So we'll see who all comes in, but I have a feeling the whole field will enter pit lane.
Yes, might be a benefit for Robbie Minor. Not sure if he is going to be the lucky dog or not, but
Maybe.
Could be what gets him back on the lead lap here. But you're going to see the entire field here coming into the pits. This will be the last pit stop that they'll need to make. We'll see if they decide to make any others, but we're going to be under 10 laps to go when we get this thing restarted. We'll see who wins the battle off the pit road. You see the 53 still out there. Could be getting the wave around this time, and there he goes as he's going to fly on by to get the lap back here. Looks like the 19 there of Kelly Akron going to stay out there, as well as the 22 to get a lap back via the wave around. And it looks like it's going to be the 17 of Joshua King getting out first here. Bryson Anderson in second. Jorge Ledesma Jr. now up into third, looking to go back to back to back. And we'll see. Timothy Presley came out in 10th, but he's going to have to make a green flag. It's either a stop and go or a drive-through to serve that penalty. So that is a big, costly error there for the 1, and he's going to need another timely caution to get him back into the mix of this thing. It looks like Shane King is going to be the same deal here, but he's got some extra repairs to do as well. So not sure if this is going to be the end of the night here for the 60. I want to thank everyone out there in CRN Nation. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that we have to offer here, as this is race number 2 for us for this week. Tomorrow night, we got the Core Xfinity playoff opener right back here at Talladega for 55 laps. We'll see who takes that first step and maybe locking themselves into the championship round. And then on Wednesday, we got CSRL. As they are going to be heading to the Indianapolis Road Course, as that one has put on quite a few good shows here lately across both the CSRL and Core GT series. Then on Thursday night, we're going to have the Virtual Velocity Racing and Core GT doubleheader as usual. So plenty of racing to go yet once this one is over. So hit that like, give these drivers out here their well due and their chance to move up in the YouTube algorithm to get some more views on the show here. And same thing, hit that subscribe to get you in touch with everything that we have to offer. I want to thank our sponsors here once again for the race here tonight. Not exactly the race that Tom Osborne wanted to have back there in 28th position, but certainly racing for racing in memory of Chief here tonight. And then also for Joe Thomas, not out here in the race with us here tonight, but certainly out there in Fanland and watching them put on what I think is a pretty good race, all things considered, Jimmy. I mean, Talladega, it's known for, causing the big one and causing multiple big ones sometimes. And realistically, given this league and the fact that it is, a lot of newer drivers, a lot of, green drivers out here, I really haven't seen that many cautions that that you can really point to and say, oh well, there's a big rookie mistake, or that was a mistake that a veteran wouldn't have done.
I've seen bigger mistakes by veterans out here.
Yeah.
And I think that has a lot to do with some of like the overconfidence. If you're out here, maybe you've won on a super speedway a few times, which is a challenge in itself. It is exciting when you do get that win because it's so close. The one super speedway win was here many years ago now. I won by like 0.001 or 0.02 or something like that. It was kind of ridiculous how close it was as you were, battling with the people. You have somebody pushing you, and you got, people on the inside, outside, and just overall just great racing. But it's white knuckle, Carl. There's a lot of patience. People will get mad and tempers fly real high, and I've seen Samantha out there that's pretty hard not to cuss, and yeah, it is, and believe it or not, I'm a retired sailor, so I got a mouth probably worse than most people out there, and trying to hold my tongue a lot. I've done, I guess, say an outstanding job as I can get pretty colorful when it comes to unnecessary words. But we're back to green here, and you can see a little bit of maybe setting back here by some of the drivers in the back. Kelly Akin winding things up. It's gonna still be within that range there. We're gonna go up here with the leaders here. Joshua King still out to the lead, and he's not going anywhere, so it's just who he's gonna get the help here tonight. Jorge Ledesma is gonna be able to take advantage here, get himself up front here. He's got Anderson right there on the bumper there. That's Bryson and the Reese's machine pushing Jorge here around down into turn number 3. Hopefully he can work his magic, maybe get a lap led here, and that might be worth a point there for his championship. So every point counts, especially when you're racing somebody like Timothy Presley back here in 14th. Not out of it by no means. 7 laps to go. Oh no, never mind, he's got to come down in the pits. So this right here is a big hit, obviously, to get rid of that black flag. Totally forgot about that. Yeah, it's not what Timothy wanted to see battling, for that championship here early on. But Jorge's going to eat it up. He's going to take it to the lead and really put that on the mind there of the championship points there for Timothy. Bryson Anderson doing a good job pushing him right now. You got Jake Raven out there, Quinn McLean showing his way up here. We were on the 21 earlier here, and now find himself in the top 5. Robert Altman's up here, Perrone, Robert White's up here in the number 69. Somebody said something about the 69 earlier.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
Seemed like he was a little perturbed by the messages you're putting out there. So I was wondering what was going on. But certainly doing a lot better right now. But and I did see on the back of that number 7 there, Jimmy, is Reese's skeleton. Now, I'm not sure if that's just part of the piece in here, but I have not seen any Reese's skeletons. That is something new for me. But I think before we get to the who you got here tonight, we need to put a poll out there. Best Reese's. Is it the
Frozen
pumpkin, the egg, the heart, or I'm weird and don't like Reese's?
Wow, how are we friends?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Whoever says I'm weird, you're immediately getting kicked. I don't care if you're subscribed or not. Thank you for subscribing as long as you have. But we'll give that as an option.
To see him kick me.
I'm wondering, Jimmy. I mean, when it comes to the Reese's, what do you want to call it? Not like the square inches of Reese's. Where do you get more? Do you get it more with the pumpkin? Do you get it more with the egg? I didn't even think about the Christmas tree is not a bad pull either. That's a tough one. I mean, yes is kind of the answer. Is it a Reese's that I want?
If it says Reese's on it, I want to eat it. They can't go bad with peanut butter and chocolate, Carl. Whether it's whether they take 5s or whatever. Oh no, who was that? Somebody went off the track.
exit stage left, and that is a 59, I believe.
Oh, see, it's on the track. It's a caution.
Oh, the 50 there of Ryan Perone Sr., I believe. Yep.
Oh no, and some more crashing going up front
looks like
here as
Josh
well.
Dylan Jacobs involved now, and Matt Ulmer, Robert White. Not sure what happened now in turn number 3.
Oh, we're gonna check out.
We've got a ton of black flags. I'm looking at David Chapman Jr. I got Quinn McLean, Robert Altman. Wow, tons of black flags. Jeremy Gill. Oh, no, that's Dylan Jacobs getting a black flag.
Yeah, we're gonna look at Ryan Perone Senior here first. We'll back it up. He's already off the track. Just kind of don't know what happened. I don't know if it's a bad push. I'll just go back here. We'll do a chase because we can see kind of what happened here. We'll see if that was a bad push for Perone. And
yeah, right there.
Bad push there by the 14 off center. That's and that was the corrective.
Double whammy right there.
Yep.
I'm again coming back the other way, right on Cartman there on the backside, and hard and back to the inside wall. That is big, and that's why the 50 got a meatball on that one. But yeah, what happened going into turn number 3? Oh, right there, the 21 gets hooked down into the 7.
Down the 69, into the 17.
That was a hard tank slapper right there and sent them both straight up the track. Wipes out the 5.
21, 53.
We were watching the one that shot down the left, and all of a sudden, here's the big one at Talladega.
Yeah, this is big. There you got 5 cars up on the outside. A lot of good drivers that were running up towards the front. But this is how fast things can turn around. Do these drivers have a fast repair? Do they have what it takes to get to the front? If you're still out there, did they make it by? Who survived the big one? Who can make it to the end? We are here, ladies and gentlemen. We're at the end of this race here. We have 3 laps to go. We're going to have I think we'll be an official green, white checker here tonight, not black and white.
All the black flags that we've been getting here, it seems like it might be a black white checker here tonight. Well, it's certainly been interesting here to the end, and we're still not done with it, and we are going to have
flags galore.
3 chances at a green white checkered here tonight. Hopefully, we don't need all 3. Hopefully, we can get this thing done. And oh, by the way, look who is out front of this thing. He's got a little wrinkle that back end, but it's good enough to lead the race and try and go for 3 in a row. Jorge Ledesma Jr. leading this race late. But Jimmy, while we're under caution, we got some time to talk, and I still got Reese's on the mind.
Oh, brother.
What is your take on Reese's Pieces? I see it mentioned out there by Matt.
No.
Saying that Reese's Pieces are the best. To me,
no.
I can't go Reese's Pieces. I feel like
when I think Reese's Pieces, the only thing I think about as a childhood is eating them while watching E.T. when it came out and watching it in the drive-in movie theater. So I'm dating myself. Yes, I was a little kid when it came out. I remember my dad buying me Reese's Pieces there in the movies. Yeah, at a drive-in to watch that movie. So, but yeah, that's what I think about Reese's. But I'll just skip over them really quickly. Definitely not on my top of candy to go to candies for sure. But lately, I like the some of the sweet ones. The Sour Patch Kids always tempt me depending on the flavors that are there. And then I'll even I'm weird. I like the fruit slices. They're like the old school candies, and you can only eat one of them before your mouth feels like it's gonna rot out. But that and a peach ring or something.
Yep. I got the kids some gumdrops today at the store because they're on sale. That kind of took me back a little bit as well, and even like your dots back in the day. I remember I used to love the dots, but they just stuck to your teeth so much. I mean, you had one, and then 3 days later, oh yeah, I remember that flavor. It's still there, regardless of how much you brushed your teeth. They were just so crazy. But I'm gonna agree with Joe Thomas, regardless of what car number he drives, and the fact that the M&M's peanut butter. Definitely over the Reese's Pieces.
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't know what it is about the Reese's Pieces. I don't know. Not sure. just never was never a huge fan. But I mean,
if you want to have it as a condiment on top of a Reese's
a
flavored
cookie,
something
or
else.
like
Exactly. You
like
want to have it as
in
an
a
extra
cookie,
little
an ice cream
little
topper?
something. Sure.
I mean,
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with that. But the main source of your enjoyment, Reese's Pieces? No, I'd rather eat black licorice, and I hate black licorice.
You may be taking it a little too far, and we may have lost a few subscribers just on that right there.
Nah. They're trying to ban. They're already trying to ban me in the chat, and I run the chat.
Well, we're about ready for our first attempt at a green-white checkered here tonight. The pace car lights are out. It's Jorge Ledesma on the front row as he's worked his way all the way from the back to the front. Jake Raven going to start on the outside. Rob Higgs has certainly made his way up here one way or another. He's up there on the outside in row number 2. I thought I seen the 7 on the front row. Not sure what's going on here with the numbers, but either way. Oh, no, it is the 37 up there. Okay, yep. And then, so the 7 of Bryson Anderson.
They're in the brain, man.
Research. And I need to look into this Reese's skeleton thing. I need to figure out if this is a new shape that I need to partake in. Even if it's not, maybe I'll have to just make one.
I mean, I still, unfortunately, have to go buy about $200 worth of candy for all the kids that are going to be here in just a few short weeks. Yeah, so... I mean, I'll have to make sure I get skeletons. I mean, and then I can't make sure the kids don't get bad candy, so I got to taste test it,
It's just, you're looking out for them.
I am.
It's understandable.
They're definitely not looking out for my waistline, though.
No, there you go. You're going to be moving up to that outside line here pretty soon there, Jimmy.
I'm trying to lose it, man. I'm down like 20 pounds from like 3 months ago. But we're back under green. Way to go.
Oh, a little rough the back of the pack there, but looks like everybody gets back going here. A couple black flags that need to be served. It looks like David Chapman Jr., Robert Altman, of course, he just, another
the black flags
for Altman. And then Robbie Minor are the 3 black flags that need to be served. But out front and getting a nice little push, Jorge Ledesma in the lead. The 7 of Bryson Anderson in second place. Jake Raven now joining them out front, but here comes the cavalry, and we'll see if they decide to freight train on by. How about the 37 trying to do it by himself? He's like, you know what? I know the rest of the field's going to be coming. Hopefully they pick me up here on this outside line and not just steamroll me. But you see this, I mean, it's got to look frightening in the mirrors here for the 7, looking at all those cars hunting them down. But right now, they're holding it, and right now, we got one more lap to go.
It is a mess behind the 37 and 7, and there's the big mess.
But we did get the white flag, so the next flag is going to end it here. No caution flag on the speedway. We race back to the line. Ledesma still leading it, and here comes the rest of the field. You got your points leader, Timothy Presley, back up in the top 5. The 7 gets taken out to 14 sideways. The 44 is still surviving. How about this? Our points leader in second place, our nose to tail, Presley in the middle, and they will both wreck here on the backstrap into turn number 3. Presley's going to save it. Bryson Anderson now gets wrecked into 3 the 6. Who is going to finish this race? Oh, good avoidance right there by Jeremy Gill. It's not over yet, though, as we got a run from Quinn McLean. Can he get to him at the line? Not going to happen. Jeremy Gill smoking earlier in the night with a broken car. He is your winner here at Talladega. Just how you write it up here, Jimmy. I don't even know what position he was in coming into that final lap, but it's right where you need to be.
Yeah, winner. I mean, that's the only thing you can say. I mean, that last lap, I don't know if I'm going to be able to debunk it all in time, Carl. I might have to take a half an hour. Okay, go back here just on that last lap here. Oh, goodness gracious, it's back there. There's so much happening. Let's go with.
I think it started with the 1 and the 44 possibly.
Was it Thomas?
No, it's already happened in front.
Yeah, we need to go back here. And
I think just rewind it back to the white flag and watch everything that went on. But yeah, because we already lost. I think I don't know. Did we already lose a one out of this one? No, he's still in there. Yeah, this is when they got the white flag. This is heading into turn number 1 with the white flag. So yeah, this is probably a good spot to to watch the end of it, as there was just this was the big one and the long one all together. Oh, you're on this
just a little bit here, folks. Apologize for the fog. I'm gonna try to kind of catch what happened back here. It was, who was that? The 21 I was involved in this part here. Where'd they go? So many cars. All right, we're just gonna back up just a little bit. 76 west. Somebody was saying about the west having avoidance here, and this is you can see there 3 going 4 wide here, and we're gonna the slow motion. Does look like Shively and the 76 do get together here, and that kind of starts it, and then Shively kind of bobbling around trying to save it, bouncing between the 21 and the 76. 76 coming down into the 21. And then we'll go back just a little bit here. You can see everybody's starting to try to avoid, obviously coming up around 21, getting into King there, sends a 60.
Oh, and was involved in that one.
Yeah, and Jeremy Gill was in that, up against the wall there.
That's the question, because there's a ton of drivers right now that have a black flag. So I'm not sure if Jeremy Gill actually is the winner here. James Smith is in 3rd place, but he's the first one that doesn't have a black flag. So while you're dissecting this, Jimmy, I'm going to go ahead and try and get to the bottom of this here and see who's the actual winner of this thing.
Yeah, and you can just see obviously everybody fighting to the end here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll just go ahead and just kind of look here on Jeremy's. We see the 37 going around. There's Higgs going around. Somebody's going down to the inside. Just drivers still there. Higgs at this point is in like 6th place, but they're battling. And then the Jorge Ledesma goes around. Timothy Presley goes around. The 7 goes around. These two get together right here, right in front of Jeremy Gill, and he gets by. Oh, what a crazy ending here for the 4. I mean, if he's not the winner, as Carl is trying to get to the end of this, I would be surprised. As a matter of fact, I can look.
I can tell you right now what the official results are going to be, and it's not what we mentioned.
No, they're not. It looks like
James come
Smith
into play, and it is going to be James Smith as your winner here tonight. Mm-hmm. Timothy Presley is going to finish in 2nd, and Bryson Anderson in 3rd. So technically crossing the line in 3rd, 5th, and 7th, but they didn't have black flags. So they are going to be the top 3 here tonight, because the incident limit coming into play big time here with the incidents here on the final lap. So now that we got that sorted out here, we'll get the
there you go, ladies and gentlemen. This is the official iRacing results here that I brought up. That's the iRacing overlay here, so you can see where everybody. James Smith finishing in 1st. And then Timothy Presley, Bryson Anderson, Jackson West comes in 4th, Andrew Jones in 5th, Shane King in 6th, Dave Chapman in 7th, Quinn McLean in 8th, Kelly Akron in 9th, Sean McLean in 10th, Jeremy Gill finishes in 11th in the 4. Jorge Ledesma finishes in 12th. Joshua King in 13th, Robert Altman in 14th, Dave Shively in 15th, Jake Raven in 16th, Rob Higgs finishing in 17th. Marty White back in 18th. Don King's in 19th. Tyler Reed's in 20th. 21st, Ryan Perrone. Tom Lanier back in 22nd. Tristan Miner, 23rd. Robbie Miner, again next to each other, Carl. 23rd and 24th. Matt Ulmer, 25th. 26th is going to be Jarrett Martin. Dylan Jacobs finishing in 27th. Thomas Osborne in 28th, and William Martin bringing up the rest of the field here. So 29 drivers. Sorry for what was on the track, but you can only see what you get until you get the official results. Black flags do come into play, and iRacing will award those positions where warranted. and it sucks sometimes. I guess all I can say about those there. But yeah, that's your results for tonight here officially, and for iRacing. Now, if the admins decide to do something else, that is totally up to them. But I guess we'll talk
still unofficial, but it sounds pretty official as we're going to go with the iRace results here for the results. So we'll get the top 3 in here. Once again, I want to thank everyone out there for tuning in. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe, get you in touch with everything that Siren has to offer. And thank you to PinUpsForVets.com for the series sponsor and Thomas Osborne for the race sponsor here tonight. But I tell you what, Austin, if 4th place isn't good enough after this, I'm going to expect top 3s. I'm going to expect podiums for the rest of the season whenever you're broadcasting, or whenever you're not broadcasting, whenever you're spotting out there for Jackson. But either way, let's get our top 3 in here. Certainly probably wondering what they're doing here as well, but 3rd place here tonight is going to go to the 7 of Bryson Anderson. And Bryson, exactly how you write it up to get yourself a podium here tonight. I mean, you definitely have the tastiest looking paint scheme out there. I'm not sure how you survived, where you survived. Either way, you didn't get a black flag, so welcome to the top 3.
I'm kind of with Jeremy there, man. I have no words for how this race went. Me and Jorge were kind of working strategy the last probably 10 laps. Had a game plan, stuck to the game plan, and just last lap and carnage and chaos and everything you expect from super speedways.
Now, we've seen you for quite some time pushing the 44 there of Ledesma, and it looked like he was going to have a chance to win 3 in a row here. Did you notice the damage? Was that holding you guys up at all, or was it just kind of pushing him until you were ready to make a move on him at the end, or were you just kind of locked in behind him?
I was kind of all right with pushing him. Being that this is really my kind of 2nd full year, it's kind of still learning when to push, when not to push. So I was going to take a 2nd place and kind of be happy with Minor Motorsports and the team, and just happy for the team.
Well, I guess that the most important question I have for you is the same one I put out to the fans out there. Do you go with the Reese's pumpkin, the Reese's egg, Reese's Christmas tree? What's your Reese's go-to?
Reese's Pieces are always the best.
Oh my goodness. Get him out of the booth.
I just want
to give a shout out to the Pin Up for Vets and all the sponsors that make this happen. Shane, all the guys that put time in. Appreciate all of them.
All right, buddy. Any other shout outs you want to give before we let you go and get out of here?
I know there's a couple other sponsors I'm missing, but just appreciate everybody that puts time in on this. It's a fun learning league, and I appreciate everyone. Well, apologies to the 6 too.
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of apologies and a lot of reviewing after this one, but it's Talladega. It happens. And I mean, either way, you walk away one way or another, you get a podium here tonight. So it's got to feel like a good finish here. So we'll let you go, get out of here, and we'll see if we can talk to you again next week.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys. Y'all have a wonderful night.
Yes, sir.
You too, buddy. That is the 7 of Bryson Anderson coming home in 3rd place, and certainly maybe have to check him like these others out here, like in these Reese's Pieces, and I'm just gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it go. I'm not gonna let it fester. I'm just gonna bring in our 2nd place finisher here tonight, and somehow that's gonna be the 1 of Timothy Presley.
Hey, fellas, how you doing?
Well, this is Jimmy and Carl up in the booth. Tim, kind of a loss for words as the ending was so chaotic. I really didn't know who was where and when, and obviously you shown up here on the board for SDK in 5th until the black flags got thrown in the whole results, moving you up to P number 2. So, I'd have to say you pretty much survived that. You had a little spin there at the end, but getting the car forward and having it in a position, kind of like up and down night for yourself. But kind of walk us through on how everything was up to the point of the chaotic checkered flag.
Oh man, just wanted to find my teammate Jarrett. Just stick with him the whole night. Was never really able to get lock bumpers with the 8, so apologize to him for that. That was just a bad strategy call on me. And then, of course, I got hit with a speeding on pit road penalty, and that really set me back a good bit. Got lucky with a caution, then ended up with the 10x incident limit. Ended up having to go into the pits again for another pass through, and got lucky with another caution again. Me and Shane both did. He ran a heck of a race too, so shout out to him. But man, that last green white checker, I didn't know what to think, and I was like you guys, complete loss for words. Didn't know who was where, when, why. I don't know. Just everything just kind of clustered together all at once. I just knew, find the open hole, go for it before it closes, and right there on that final lap, going into 3, I knew that I had a really big run on the 7 and Jorge, and so I just thought I'm going to go high enough to where if the 77 is still a lane up, then I can still cut in between him and Jorge. And I guess it didn't work. Had a little bit more of a run than I expected on him, and I guess just got into Jorge a little bit. We all 3 converged a little bit together, just turned everybody, just made a whole pile of fire and parts. So I hate it for all 3 of us, both of those guys that were definitely going to be on the podium tonight, because you never like to tear a good car up like that. But overall, I'd say it was definitely an up and down ride.
Yeah, up and down night for a lot of drivers and a lot of newer drivers, as obviously the league is geared towards maybe newer drivers on the track. But it's wrapping up a pretty good points lead here early on, as your competitor Jorge ended up finishing back. I believe it's 12th officially. So obviously going to stretch that lead out just a little bit more, as you're now 4 races into the season here so far, getting yourself a second place finish here at Talladega. And it's Dega, so anything can happen up to the end, and it looked good for both you points leaders, and obviously not as well for the 44 here tonight. But great finish here by the 1, coming in second place. So I want to say congratulations for the cards falling in the right spot and being able to catch them cautions when you could, and making the best out of what the race was given to you on the table. So we'll just go ahead and say congratulations and give you some time for any shout outs at number 1 here tonight.
Yeah, just a huge shout out to the Checkers Directors of What the Heckers podcast, SM Racing, Royalty Racing Network, Pinups for Vets, everybody that makes this possible. You guys up in the booth at Core, couldn't do this without you. You guys always put on a great show for us. And, a little apology to Jorge. Didn't mean to wreck him at all, but I'm going to go ahead and take a jab at him, call it payback for Las Vegas.
Everything will go, I'm sure, all the way to the end of the season. Many more races to come. So again, congratulations. Thanks for the shout outs, and we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
That is your second place finisher here tonight, the one of Timothy Presley. Looks like, unfortunately, we're not going to have our winner here tonight. Maybe still trying to figure out how the heck he won this thing. But James Smith in the number 9 is your winner here tonight. So congrats to him and the 9 team for getting it done here. Crossing the line in 3rd, but getting the win nonetheless. I want to thank everyone out there again for tuning in here tonight. Thank our sponsors here as well for the great race that was put on here, and certainly we've seen a ton of action on that last lap and all kinds of things getting shuffled all over the place, and I'm sure it's going to be talked about quite a bit until next week. But next week we are going to head to lost the schedule here for a second. We're going to head to Indianapolis. We're going to head to Chicagoland next week before we head to Indianapolis. So Chicagoland next week, as we go back to the questionable circle track out there in the Midwest. But that's going to do it for myself and Jimmy here from the fog. Maybe the fog was kind of a little precursor to all the smoke on the final lap. Maybe. But for myself and Jimmy here from the CRN booth at Talladega, we'll see you at the track.
Peace.